Okay, viewers, this is VOND, Dr. James VOND speaking, and today's date is Monday, the 2nd of March, 2026, and right now I'm in Broadgate, Coventry City Centre, where I was yesterday filming, and local time now is approaching 2:47 p.m, and that's the clock there behind me. I'm not sure if you can see it with the sunlight there, and that's the Lady Godiva statue there, which I was filming from. Today we're going to go right into Primark Superstore and continue with this video. And let me just take my shades off and resume recording. So Primark, that's that store there in Broadgate Coventry City Centre. It's an economy class budget type of store, not necessarily a luxury store, not expensive types, but affordable type, I'd say. So it would come under economy class or budget class. And this particular store has 3 floors, interestingly, with the ground floor being labelled 0, second floor being labelled 1, and top floor being labelled 2. So let's just go up the escalator. Obviously not quite DB Zolkov. That's a luxury apartment store in Amsterdam, Netherlands, of course, and that's 5 floors, not 3. But anyway, we'll continue on the subject of 3 floors. That reminds me of the Three Gorges Dam in China, if you can recall. And what did I know? What did you want to know about that? Well, the Three Gorges Dam in China took over the world record in terms of annual electricity production back in 2020, and it was held formally by the Itaipu Dam in Brazil, bordering Paruaguay. So that held the record in 2016, and that overtook it in 2020. And the record was 103.1 TWhs produced back in 2016 by the Itaipu Dam in Brazil, bordering Paruaguay, and that was beaten by the Three Gorges Dam on the Yangtze River in China, and in 2020 it produced 111.8 TWhs of electricity, a world record, and it's been a record holder since 2020 in terms of gravity dams, hydroelectricity producing dams. And whilst we're walking around here on the top floor, 3rd floor, or floor 2 as they label it, the dam itself, the Yangtze River Three Gorges Dam, that is I'm talking about, was actually constructed, or construction began around 1994, and it opened in 2003. And on average, it's quoted as producing around 95 TWhs of electricity per year, plus or minus 20 TWhs, depending upon precipitation at the river basin. So obviously those sort of factors will make a difference. And obviously 2020 was a kind of a monsoon year with good precipitation at the basin, and it has a total generating capacity of around 22,500 megawatts, and that's powered by 32 main turbines, 32 700 and 700 megawatts dam turbines, and also two smaller Francis internal generators. Those are 250 megawatts, 250 megawatt generators. So 34 generators in total, but 32 main ones, 700 megawatts each, and two smaller ones, the Francis turbines. Those are at 50 megawatts each. And like I said, the peak power was in 2020 for that particular dam, producing 101.80 terawatt hours of electricity in that year. And its cost, incidentally, is quoted as around being 31.765 billion US dollars. That's the construction cost. And it is a gravity dam based on the Yangtze River in the Yilling district, the Hubei province of China. So that's interesting, isn't it? And also what's been mentioned is about that particular dam is it's been confirmed by NASA scientists that it has had an effect on the axial tilt and also the spin of the planet slightly. And in fact, the Three Gorges Dam has been quoted as speeding up the Earth's spin by about 0.06 microseconds. So it's spinning faster. In other words, the day has been lengthened slightly by that much, 0.06 microseconds, because it's spinning more slower. So that's the effect it's had. It's slowed down the spin and lengthened the day by 0.06 microseconds. And also on the axial tilt, it's had an effect as well, around 2 centimeters or 0.8 inches. So that's the observed effect, calculated by NASA scientists, etc., and other scientists as well. So think of an ice skater, when they move their arms out, obviously they slow down, don't they? And when they move their arms in, they speed up. So it's equivalent to like the ice skater pulling their arms out. That's the effect of the dam, slowing the Earth down by a small amount, which isn't really measured by normal instrumentation, by 0.06 microseconds. And the effect on the axial tilt, 2 centimeters approximately, 0.8 inches. But mentioning that, I need to mention that there have been seismic effects on planet Earth, which have been greater effect on the axial tilt and also on the rotational speed of the planet. And those are mostly seismic effects like earthquakes, for instance. And I'll give you examples, measurable examples. So recent data, that is, where there's recent data. I mean, there have been earthquakes in the past as well, before the 1960s, etc. But there's not much measurable information there observed. So calculations are kind of very rough estimates indeed. But I'll start off with the latest one, which was in 2011, 11th of March, and that was the Japan Tohoku earthquake with a magnitude of 9 to 9.1 on the Richter scale, and that had an effect on the length of day by slowing it down by 1.8 microseconds. So it's starting to, it was actually spinning faster, that means. So the length of day has been shortened by 1.8 microseconds by that particular event, the earthquake in Japan in 2011. And it had an axial tilt of around 17 centimeters or 6.5 inches. 17 centimeters, that's what's been quoted, plus or minus 7 centimeters. And that's one of the greatest effects on the axial tilt to date, in terms of when they've started measuring, and have got the data there as well for those sort of effects. And there was also an earthquake in 2010, and that was in Chile. That was the Mall earthquake in Chile, 2010, and that was a magnitude 8.8 earthquake on the Richter scale. And that also shortened the day by 1.26 microseconds, slightly less than the Japanese earthquake of 2011. So that shortened it by 1.2 microseconds, and that had an axial tilt of around 8 centimeters or 3 inches, which is a bit less than the Japanese one. That's been the greatest observed effect on a seismic sort of activity. And then the 2004 seismic event, that was the Sumatra Andaman earthquake, which led to triggered the tsunami, and that registered 9.1 to 9.3 on the magnitude of earthquakes on the Richter scale, and that incidentally shortened a day by the most 2.68 microseconds. So it's spinning faster, obviously, because of that seismic event. And the axial tilt also was affected by about 2.5 centimeters or about 1 inch. And the mean North Pole was shifted about 145 degrees east on the longitude. So there you have it, that's the facts. So the 2004 tsunami or Sumatra Andaman earthquake was the one with the greatest effect on the length of day in terms of shortening it. It shortened the day because it was spinning faster, 2.68 microseconds. It was a 9.1 to 9.3 magnitude earthquake, so that needs to be remembered as well. Whereas the Japan Tohoku earthquake on the 11th of March 2011, that had the greatest axial tilt recorded as yet in terms of seismic events, and that actually it's 3 o'clock now, so that actually changed the axial tilt by 17 centimeters, plus or minus 7 centimeters, or 6.5 inches approximately. But on the day length, it just shortened it by about 1.8 microseconds. Not as much as the effect as say the tsunami 2004 Sumatra Andaman earthquake. So I just thought I'd mention those figures. If you was worried about the Three Gorges having an effect, the Three Gorges, just remember, has lengthened the day slightly, only by 0.06 microseconds. Whereas all the seismic earthquakes have speeded up the Earth slightly to a maximum of 2.68 microseconds for the Sumatra Andaman Island Andaman tsunami in 2004, and 1.8 microseconds for the Japan earthquake, the Tohoku earthquake, and the Chile earthquake in 2010 was about 1.26 microseconds. So they've been slowed down by that much amount. That's the day length. In terms of axial tilt, just to summarise, the greatest effect on the axial tilt so far observed is the Japanese Tohoku earthquake. 17 centimeters, plus or minus 7 centimeters, or 6.5 inches. Although the Three Gorges Dam has also had an effect on Axial Tilt, it's only been around 2 centimeters at the most, or about 0.8 inches. Okay, I'll end this video now. So just remember, seismic earthquakes have more effect, generally speaking, than man-made objects like dams or something, on the axial tilt, and also on the rotational speed. And they usually slow down the rotational speed. Actually, I should be saying they actually speed up the rotational speed, to be correct. They make the earth spin faster. That's the earthquakes, that is, generally speaking. Whereas like effects of dam, they're like opening the arms of a skater outwards and produce the opposite effect, which is dragging the a bit slower and reducing the rotational speed slightly, somewhat. That's the only event that's slowed down the earth, making the day longer. That's the Three Gorges Dam. Okay. I'll end this video now. I'm on High Street now. Remember, you can send any money to me, donate any money to me at my bank account. Sort code 1102 12 and account number 1411 2566. And my international bank account number for my overseas viewers outside the UK, don't forget, is GB 84HLFX 1102 12 14 11 25 66. And my BIC and SWIFT number also for the bank is HLFX GB 21F28. Let me just get the bank in for you. In case you want to send me a check in the post, this is his address: 22 High Street, Coventry. So you can send me a check in the post as well if you fancy it, doing it that way. And that's the Halifax Bank on 22 High Street, and it's in Coventry. And that's in the West Midlands area of England, UK. Don't forget to put my name down as well. A full name, that is Dr. James VOND Dutch. I don't think you need to put the shortened version. Otherwise, I'm obviously just Dr. James VOND. If you mention my account details, it should get to me. Make it payable to myself with my name, and that's it. You're going. But otherwise, send it directly. That's what I recommend. Set up a simple bank transfer. That's all you need to do.